Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 1 of the Red Bull Project. I am your host, Ringo8781 Gaming, but you can call me Matt. Very excited to be doing this. For those of you who know me, you'll know that I've got a bit of an affinity towards Red Bull Group, in particular RB Leipzig. I have been to see them. I follow them quite religiously, and through that, I have grown a bit of an attachment to RB Salzburg and keep an eye on the other groups that they've got going on in the world. Not so much in Brazil. They've got two in Brazil. It's a bit funny, that one. But yeah, I like keeping an eye on them, and the idea of a football in group. I understand in German football why it's frowned upon, but in the essence of football and the way football is going, a footballing group is probably the right way of doing things and the most secure and financially stable way of doing things, such as like what the Pozzo group of the family have done at Watford with Udinese, City group are doing. They've got a lot of teams on their books. Red Bull are doing it, and so on and so forth. And to me, the top of that pyramid is the Red Bull group. And what our aim to do for this entire save, this is going to be my main save running through the entire year. We were going to wait till the 9th, but you can still see it's still in the beta version. I'm having withdrawal symptoms after the West Ham save ended early. If you haven't checked that out, please go and check that out. It was the first beta save that we did. A very good save, a very good introduction to FM22. But what we're going to do, we were going to follow the Jesse Marsh route, which was New York Red Bulls to Salzburg to Leipzig. No, we're not going to do that. I had a little bit of research into the MLS, looked at the rules, looked at previous football manager YouTubers who have done saves in the MLS and it's not gone down too well. I honestly don't think I'd have the time and the patience and the energy for that. So we're a little bit more interesting, I feel, this way. We are actually managing FC Liefering, who are the feeder club or the B team to RB Salzburg. And the way that works is it's a little bit different to anything you would have seen before. You'll see we are our own entity entirely. If you click into Leifering, you get the overview. You can get a history of the club. Founded in 2012, got a 30,000 capacity seat stadium. That is insane for this division. We can't be promoted from the Austrian first tier to the top tier, much in the way in real life a lot of B teams can't. Like Bayern Munich 2 couldn't go to the Bundesliga. They could go to the second tier, but they can't go any higher. And I believe Leifering don't get entered into the Austrian Cup off the top of my head. But that's how it works. And you'll see just under the teams tab, senior squad is us. Then you've got AKA RB Salzburg, and then FC Red Bull Salzburg. So yeah, we're the B team. So if you've ever managed in Germany, you'll have seen on this development centre here, you'll have your first team, you'll have a B team, and you'll probably have an under-18s team. We essentially share all our scouting knowledge and whatnot with RB Salzburg. If we go onto the affiliate screen really quickly, you see we've got affiliates with Salzburg and Leipzig. With Leipzig, we've got an option to request a friendly between the two, and we will host and keep all gate receipts. We'll be under no obligation to play the friendly. The partnership with the club is a long-term deal, and the presence of Leipzig within Austria will be a major benefit, and we share scouting knowledge. So we don't really have much in the way of them. We can obviously in the future look to negotiate that, so maybe we get a few more players coming through them. But the main partnership we've got is with Salzburg. So it's a local partnership in which training facilities are shared. That's a big one. So players may move freely between Salzburg and Leifering. Salzburg will be able to send players on loan to Leifering, and Leifering have no obligation to play, and he may be called where possible. Salzburg have future option to buy players from Leifering. That's another big one because that's what we're going to aim to do. In practice, this means that once a bid for a player is accepted by Leifering, a bid of the same value from Salzburg must also be accepted. Leifering have an option to request a friendly between the clubs. The partnership is a long-term deal. Backroom staff are contracted to the main club only. Now, that's quite a big one. Much in the way you'll have seen in the thumbnail, I've got my, I've worked my Photoshop magic, got a nice little Leifering jacket on with my initials on, but actually I'm not employed by Leifering, I'm employed by Salzburg. The clubs share scouting knowledge, and our youth players share a training facility with RB Salzburg, which is massive. Salzburg will be able to loan players from Leifering, which is quite interesting. Salzburg have access to all of Leifering's facilities, and Leifering can only use their own contracted backroom staff. What, in essence, that means is I'll show you really quick. This is the best way of showing you. If I click on my scouting tab, you'll see Christopher Freund is responsible for scouting. Christopher Freund is actually the director of football for Salzburg and not for Leifering. However, we can use him to identify players for us, to sign players for us, to renew our contracts. In the essence that they actually do this, in the way that Ralph Rangnick used to run all of the Red Bull teams. That's kind of how it works here. That, however, doesn't mean that we can't sign people. You can see we've got room for one chief scout, two normal scouts, a recruitment analyst, which is going to be big for us, head of performance analyst, and so on and so forth. So we've got a bit of scope to do what we want, scouting wise. We are going to follow suit with the. There's a few rules. We can sign people. I am pretty much going to try and be this feeder team. And what we need to do is we can sign players from Salzburg reserves. So as you saw it earlier, so if I clicked on Max Rober, for example, I couldn't move him to Leifering. However, if we go backwards one quickly and we go to aka Red Bull Salzburg, which is the academy of Red Bull Salzburg, and we clicked on Patrick Kovacs, we can move him to our team. So, although we will try and identify our own players, the main aim of identifying our own players is obviously we want to be the best team in this division, and we want to use that to build up our credentials and build us up as a manager with the view of getting the Salzburg job in the future. But also the players that we bring in, we're going to want to try and sell on. Hopefully, if they're good enough, they'll move straight on to Salzburg and so on and so forth from there. But yeah, we're not going to go out and sign 37-year-old on a free transfer because he fits. No, we're going to focus solely on the youth players for that. We're going to look at players between the ages of 15 and 19, 19 being the highest. The idea is that by the time they're 20, 21, 22, in some cases, they will be playing for us regularly before being moved on. And that's fine, because it's a development. With a development team, we're going to develop as a coach and we're going to take it from there. I'm really excited. It's a little bit different to anything I've really seen in the past. I'm just going to show you really quickly. If we go into the finances screen, you'll see 73 million overall balance. That is not us. That's Salzburg. They're our parent team. We don't have a transfer budget. We are £23 million in debt, but again, that's Salzburg. If you look at the salary commitments, all of our players aren't on mad wages, but then there's the odd one. You've got Brian Oko, who is a very, 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 very competent centre half, somebody who will probably be moving on to Salzburg by the time he's 2021. But that's the idea. We want to progress, we want the team to progress, and we're going to take it from there. So how are we going to do it then? Well, we're going to do it in a couple of different ways. We need to look at things a little bit differently. These ability stars, it's really confusing because we're a B team. This is, you'll see it says decent rating for the senior team. So this is in relation to Salzburg's team. So let's say, again, we'll pick Brian Ako, 2.5 star. You actually click on him. And then when my coaches had a look at him, you'll see 2.5 star there. As compared to Salzburg's team, we can only look at it in the role and duty of it. And then this is in comparison for the rest of the team. It's very confusing. It's going to be hard to get our head around for the time being. I'm not too sure how that's going to work on a scouting aspect of it, whether they're going to look at players who are good enough in relation to us or in relation to Salzburg. It's going to be very, very difficult to find. So I think when we do set up our scouting, we're just going to set up 15 to 19 and just don't put any star ratings. We might do potential of like 3-star, 4-star, because if there's a potential of 3-star in the Salzburg team, you'd think in essence, if they're already a potential of that, they're probably good enough to play for us, which means if we can get Salzburg to sign them, they'll put them in the academy and then we can freely move them to us. It's all very confusing, but it's going to work. I'm very, 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 very excited to do it. You'll see I've not set up any tactics. I've not done anything like that. I've literally just loaded up and spoken to you guys. I'm going to go off now. I'm going to set up a few views. I'm going to have a little look at a few scouts, and then we're going to set up a tactic. So, guys, I've just been setting up a few things with staffing and trying to bring a few people in. And it's something I wanted to run by you guys. I'm going to pop it in the Discord chat as well. I'm in 2 Discord chats, which are ran by 2 very, very, very good and very undervalued people in the FM community. There's one for Stein Kelson, who has got a YouTube channel and a blog, and we've got Matthew Aqua, who I've spoken about before. Reach out to those guys, get yourselves into these Discords. A lot of FM knowledge and just a very good group of people in there. You'll see one of the views that I've got set up is actually been set up by somebody in Stein Kelson's Discord chat who is doing a Brentford save on the beta. He's basically doing what we used to do on the old Brentford saves, but a lot more in depth than I'm doing it. So if you enjoy what I'm doing, you'll enjoy what he's doing. His knowledge is invaluable. Please get involved if you can. But what I wanted to ask you guys was this. Obviously, I'd like to be able to go out and sign people, but we don't have a transfer budget. I feel like our transfer budget comes from Salzburg, but I've not really tested it out. You'll see, I'm set up as the scouting responsibility, and let's just take Dominic Frank, for example. I can go out and try and sign him, make an offer. Transfer value, etc., etc. Potential value, current season transfer budget cost 60. Let's just say for the giggles, 1 million. I can go and do that. However, if I do go back onto my staff, responsibilities, transfers, and contracts, and set Christopher Freund, who is a very good director of football, but is Salzburg's director of football, as initiating the player signings and negotiating them. If I then go back to scouting, I go into player search, and let's just click on Malik Tillman. I cannot sign them. I can add them to a shortlist. I can inquire about availability, and I can see their transfer status, but I can't actually sign them. I think that makes the save a lot more challenging and a lot more interesting, considering we're not a massive reputation club, and I myself, as a manager, I'm starting off with absolutely 0 coaching badges. You see, I'm a half-star reputation manager, and the club, I believe, is only 2-star reputation. I think that makes the save a lot more difficult. I'm prepared to keep it off for now to see how it works with the transfer fees and whatnot. We'll test that out a little bit later on in the video. I'm prepared to let that run as it is, but there's not really much I can say. I want your guys' input on that. But for now, we're going to leave it at that. Please let me know your thoughts. I think that's quite an interesting idea, because then it'll only be a case that we can only bring people in either on free transfers. I've already tested that. We can bring people in on free contracts, or we can only promote people down from Salzburg's academy. Let me know what you think. Going into the tactics screen, it would not be a Red Bull save if we didn't adhere to the principles of Red Bull, which is fast, which is aggressive, which is high energy, lots of pressing. We're not going to go with the default gegenpress, although it will be very easy to just stick a little gegenpress on. We are going to try and stick to the principles of Red Bull, which is the 4-4-2, 4-2-2, what they use an awful lot, and try and take it from there. So what we need to do is we need to have a little look at the squad. We are going to start off on a positive mentality. We're going to play extremely high tempo, and we want to play it out of defence. In the transition, we want to counter press and counter. We'll leave the distribution for now. We'll see how that goes. And we want to play a higher line. We want an offside trap. We want to prevent the goalkeeper getting this. We want to press as much as we can, and that is the essence of gegenpress. Just having a look at the current ability of all the players. Patrick Maltzel is probably the best at the minute for doing this. You can see we've not really got two pennies to rub together in some departments, so it's probably going to be a case of going up, I should say, to the academy and seeing who we can bring in. A lot of these are literally just academy players for Salzburg. You can see Rocco Simic is far and away the best. 17-year-old Croat, 6'2", shoots a power, quite tall, quite strong. Probably will have to start as a striker. Next up, we've got Elias Havel, an Austrian. He's okay. Same for Raphael Herfer. Very, very good in certain places. Definite room for improvement. And then, wow, we've not really got anything. We've got Federico Crescenti, who's a Swiss midfielder. We're not entirely sure where he could play. Probably cutting in from the left. On the right hand side, again, it's Simic and Crescenti with Kilinic. Other than that, and then we've got a few options in the middle. We've got Nene de Geles. We've got Amankwa Forsen and Dijon Kamiri. I think Dijon Kamiri could play out wide, actually. I think he's probably out wide. We've got a few options there. Midfield left, we've not really got anybody. We've got a lot of options in the middle and in centre defence and midfield. We've got Major, who is far and away the best right-sided player, but is definitely, I believe, a full-back. That being said, though, is tackling at 14. We've got Ibitzberger, who's a little bit more defensive. And behind him, we've got Kilinic, who we've already seen. And Abatu, who is definitely not a right back. He's a bit too tall for right back. But yeah, I think we might have to adapt the tactics slightly. Let's just see. Pick without restriction if we pick our best 11. So this is what they're saying is the best 11. They've got Herfer up front as an advanced forward. I'd say that's fine. Havel can play deep lying, can play advanced forward, poacher, target man. His passing's actually not bad for this division. But we'd stick him as advanced forward for now. I really think Simic is probably the best option to play through the middle. He's a bit of a jack of all trades, isn't he? Can play on either wing. Yeah, I think Simic is definitely the striker. So it was Havel, wasn't it? It was the second best there. So Havel and Simic. Can Herfer play on the wing? Probably not. Then we've got Klinic, who is a right back who would be basically assuming the position of right mid, although we do have Major who can play there. It's quite interesting. We've got Forsen, who is quite creative, good passing, good vision, and Tiani, Samson Tiani, who looks a bit like a deep line playmaker to me. We've got Bockel at left back. Benjamin Bockel, who's definitely a left back. Yeah, we'll give him that. We've got Guindo, who is a very, very good centre half. Malian worth about 7.8 million. And then we've got Oko, who we had a look. Could get in excess of 8.8 million for him. And then Major and in goal, we've got Stexkel. Okay. So I think we definitely need to address the left wing situation, or just the wing situation in general. So we just have a little look at Salzburg. We look at the players in the under-18s, and then we go positional wise. So Crescenti is definitely one we need to utilize basically. So he's going to come to the Leifering squad. He will play out on this wide left for me. For now, there's not much we can do. We've got limited funds, but wherever he is, there we go. Federico Crescenti, and you will play as an inside forward, inverted winger. we like inverted winger at the club. We'll go for inverted winger, and we'll have a little look to see if they've got anybody who can play on the right. We've got this guy as well. I did have a little look earlier. We've got Mohamed Sadiqi, who's an Afghani striker, 6'2", quite technical and good on the ball. A lot of tens. He looks quite good. Same for Marcel Berhi. Looks there or thereabouts. The Hungarian, either footed. Can't cross a ball though, so can't really play on the wings. It's a bit of a frustrating one. He looks quite good. Thomas Ferder, again, it's hard. This save is going to be hard from the off, so you're going to have to bear with it. We've also got Tolagan Sahin, we've got Rocco Zivkovic. There's a few good young players here who we could probably mould into different positions. I think we're going to grab Sadiqi, and that could potentially let Simic play further afield. Saying he's a bit of a poacher. Yeah. Okay, let's bring Sadiqi in too. And what we'll do is we'll play what's his name? Crescenti. Simic, Klitschnich. He's just not got winger written on him, has he, Klitschnich? Crescenti, Simic. Rocco's got decent crossing. I just think he has to play up front. Vision 9, passing 9, crossing 8. Maybe Elias Havel can play on the wing, and that'll allow Sadiqi to play up front. Although we do have Raphael Herfer there too. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with that. We'll mess around with a few roles, but we'll keep you as a winger for now. We could even potentially still play you as an inverted winger, but we'll keep you as an attacking winger for now. You've got a bit of flair and a bit of pace about you too, and we'll mess with all these in a bit. Oh man, this is going to be hard. We're not going to play any games or anything like that. This is just a quick introduction to the save. I'm going to take you offline. I'm going to play a couple of hours here and there, see how far we can get before we fly into the next video. And yeah, but yeah, let me know what you think. I think it's a very interesting idea. It's kind of like Jack's Park to Prem save, but we're not in the park. We're in a 30,000 seat stadium with a B team, and £73 million in the bank. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a lot of work, a lot of fine tuning. You can see the squad's not in the best state. We're maybe probably not even set up to play with wingers. We could even just go the whole hog and just go, you know what, we're going to go 3 midfielders and 3 actual strikers. We could even go ahead and do that and be that person, but we don't know. I'm interested to see how this goes. Let me know what you think. I'm going to leave you there. Little quick 25-minute video for you just to keep you ticking over until we've played a few more games. But thank you very much for watching. Thank you for being involved in anything that I do on this channel. I really, really appreciate it. I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate the support. But for now, my name's Matt. It's been a very, very strange introduction to the video, but we're going to have to see how it goes. Thank you very much, everybody, and we'll see you all next time on the Red Bull Project.